What's up, guys? I'm here today at Orlando Harley Davidson. This is actually the dealer I bought my first bike at back in 2015. And I wanted to tell you today a little bit about why I decided to go from that bike, a 1200 Custom, to a 2016 Iron 883. Now, some say that would be a downgrade. I happen to disagree, and I'm going to tell you about a few of those reasons as to why that is. Without any further ado, let's head to downtown Orlando and see a few sights, and I'll explain what I mean. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. We are now downtown Orlando at Lake Eola Park. I used to ride my bike around here quite a bit when we lived in one of these buildings over here for a little bit, back when my wife's career was taking us all over the place. We lived here for a couple of months and it was pretty sweet to ride a bike in an urban setting, and the Iron 883 would have been great then because it's so nimble, especially the 2016 model is very light compared to the 1200 Custom I had then. So that brings me to my first point I want to make. The Iron 883, when I was ready to upgrade from the 2006 1200 Custom, the Iron 883 had about 5 particular things that I thought were pertinent to why I wanted to get that bike instead of another 1200cc motor. I knew I wanted to stay with a sporty, and first of all, I didn't want to get rid of my 06 bike, so I thought I needed to stay cheap. And the number one reason why I picked the Iron 883 was the price. The price of that bike out of the factory was about 8,500 bucks plus dealer taxes and fees and stuff like that. For that price, for a brand new bike, you can't really go wrong. And the second thing I wanted to bring up is that the Iron 883 at the time, Harley Davidson was running a promotion on it where you could actually get the bike for 0% down. And that was a big deal for me. From the price of the bike being only 8,500 bucks to 0% down, it was hard to go wrong. That brings me to my third point, and that is that the Iron came stock with more of a better canvas to start with than any of the 1200 models in 2016 did. I liked the matte black denim black paint. I liked the murdered outlook, most of the bike being black. I knew it was a better starting point for the style I wanted to go for and what I knew I wanted to eventually change on the bike going forward. So my reason number 4 is that I actually wanted to go with the peanut tank, as I mentioned before, and the 48 Sportster unfortunately has a 2-gallon peanut tank, even though it's a 1200cc motor, so I didn't want to deal with that for longer trips. I also knew that I had the 4.5-gallon tank that's a lot bigger and more bulbous from the 1200 Custom before, and I knew I wanted to have the peanut tank for the style I was going for with the new bike. So the Iron 883 came with a 3.3-gallon tank, peanut style, and I thought, hey, that actually makes the most sense. And finally, the fifth and final reason that I chose to go with the Iron 883 instead of a 1200 was the fact that the gearing with the 883 is tuned to have a lot more torque coming out of the bottom of the gear than the 1200 model, even though they share the same basic transmission and powertrain. And what that means is that you get a lot more power out of the bottom of each gear. And I loved the 1200 that I had because you had a lot of power out of the top end of the gear and you had a lot of top speed. So I knew that when I chose an 883, I could eventually upgrade to the 1200 kit, the conversion kit that changes the displacement of the motor to a 1200, and I would end up getting that 1200cc speed, top speed and power on the top end, along with the natural capability and tuning of the 883 being tuned to really go from the bottom of the gear. So you really get best of both worlds if you start with the 883 model and plan to upgrade with the conversion kit for the motor later on, which I plan on doing. It just costs like 1,500 bucks for the parts alone, and you know, that's something I'll work on eventually. And I am back at my vehicle now. I unfortunately did not ride my motorcycle to Orlando today. I took my Chevy Cruze because this morning it was 38 degrees and I was planning on it being a lot warmer than that when I planned this video for this day. So the car it was, and I'm gonna head back to my hometown in Stewart now to see my wife and little girl. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. See ya.